I've been working on a large project, an 11-foot tall by 25-foot wide bookshelf mural in a high school library. And the whole time I was working on this, I had this reoccurring theme going on inside my brain, that I am limited based on my own perspective. We're going to walk through the process of this bookshelf mural while I show you these limited perspectives that I had, and towards the end I'm going to bring it all together in a devotional where we are going to see why we need an ultimate perspective, why we are all limited when we only trust our own judgment and what we see. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Hello, my name is Brittney Hanley. I've been married to my husband Daniel for 18 years. We have 3 children, all of which are taller than me now. I've been drawing stuff up for as long as I can remember. From time to time, I get to do cool things like graffiti up school blacktops in high school libraries. In all the varieties of my projects, there's one commonality. While I'm building up a project, there's a message inside of me being built up. Up until this project, I've never brought the two together. Join me as they collide in what I'd like to present as Brett Handevos. I covered the background in a separate video where I explain all those random colors that you're seeing, and we talked about how creation needs the creator. I then did a time-lapse video of the first 4 books where you get to watch those develop, and if you need a good workout, jump over there and watch that video. You'll burn about 300 brain calories watching me move all over the place. We begin our journey together today from that point on. Pay special attention to all the times you see me step back and look at the picture from a broader perspective. I'm intentionally leaving those shots in, and I can already hear my kids telling me, "Mom, cut that out." Where my response is going to be, "Pay attention, child, it's the whole point." You see, when you're working on something that's really small, you can see the whole thing the whole time. But when you're working on a 25-foot wide mural, all you can see is about 2 foot square right in front of you, which becomes a really big challenge when you're working with a project that is adapting as you go. Now, I don't know if you caught it, but this one yellow book that I'm working on right now was originally 2 books when I started. And in that whole process of stepping back and taking a look at it, I determined it would look a whole lot better as one book. So I combined the 2, which created a new challenge for me because now I'm working with a 7-foot tall book, but I can only see 2 foot in front of me. And the outline that I established in the very beginning is no longer reliable. I say this because when you're working with something this large, and you can only see 2 feet at a time, you have to depend on predetermined lines to tell you when one book starts and one book stops. And I'm covering up my own boundary lines as I go. You can see as I'm doing texture and shading, I have to cover up those lines. So the only way I can make sure that this is creating a seamless look within each book and across the whole big picture is to step back and take a look at it. And I have to do this regularly. Let's use this book as an example. If I'm sitting on the ground painting it, it looks like this. But if I look straight up, it looks like this. If I get up on my platform thingy and I look down from the top of the book, I can't even see the bottom of the book, that viewpoint we were looking at in the very beginning. And my job is to get in here and make this look like one seamless book. But the whole time I'm looking at it, everything looks different. From the shot of the camera right now, your perspective is limited because you can't see any of the books off to the right. All you see is where I'm working at and the books to the left. Now this wall has 2 awkward pillars, one right in the middle, and I had to work with that. And as I'm standing right here right now, all of my view from that spot to the right is limited because the boulder sticks out and blocks me. As you can see right here, there's part of those books I can't even see from this perspective. And this challenge just keeps reoccurring throughout the whole thing because it's so large. If I'm in one spot and I look to the left, if I can even see it, it starts to get distorted. Or if I look to the right, it gets distorted. In all of this, I have to be careful that I don't just keep putting paint to the wall, moving from one spot to the next without actually stepping back and looking at it. Because it's very tempting to just keep going and going and going. But the problem with that is if I don't regularly step back and I've made a mistake in one spot, but I never step back to look at it to see what it looks like. I keep going on with that same mistake and I don't correct it. These books are far more difficult to fix later than they are in the moment. I'm adding texture to these and putting certain paint colors and blending certain paints, and if I come back to it later to fix it, I'm gonna start messing stuff up. I have to fix it as I go. I can't wait until later. So instead of keeping my paintbrush to the wall and just going at it, I have to take those moments, see what it looks like, see where I've messed up, and make corrections right away. Which brings us to the bigger question of why does any of this even matter? As I would step away from this project and just do life, I saw the same pattern happening. I was faced with decisions and conflicts that I had to resolve, but only saw a tiny piece of the whole big picture. So this isn't just something that's relevant to a mural on a wall. This is something that we deal with in our everyday life. We only see a tiny piece of the picture, and we need help and guidance to be able to understand and put the whole bigger picture together and make it actually look the way it's supposed to. We can't do this on our own. But the awesome thing is that we were never intended to. We were designed and created to need that guidance constantly. And even better yet, we were given the opportunity and the tools to be able to do it. Now, we are limited, finite beings. And inside of us, we are wired to need an infinite being that is not limited. Allow me to make my best effort to bring this all together. I'm painting a mural, but we're all doing life. And in this life, there's all these different pieces of the bigger picture. In my mural, that's a bunch of books. It's a bunch of teeny tiny decisions that I make in every moment. In our lives, it's the exact same way. We're faced with something that we only see a tiny piece of. And we do not have the wisdom on our own to make educated decisions based on just what we see. The spot with this green book that I'm painting right now was originally crooked the first time I did it. I more so did it just to use as a demonstration of how when I trusted my own eyes, it did not go the way it needed to. But when I stepped back, I saw the crookedness of it, and then I reevaluated. I took measurements and I got it right. And this is what we need to do within our lives. We cannot just keep going and going and going, putting paint to the wall without evaluating it with the person who knows what the final end is meant to look like and all of the in-betweens. The person who has that overall design of what he wants for you. So the first thing is we need to recognize that our perspective is limited and that we need help in seeing the bigger picture. From here on in the drawing, things start getting really messed up in my head. Because if you can see, look at that. Can you tell where all those boundary lines are? No, because I couldn't either. It was a lot of fun and I had to kind of recreate some of them because at this point, so many things had gotten painted over. Which brings me to my next point, that in our lives, our boundaries can shift without us even realizing it. We must constantly turn back to our ultimate perspective for guidance, to show us anywhere where we've deviated from where we're supposed to be. And if we don't do this regularly, we can go too long and too far headed in the wrong direction, and it takes more time and more effort to come back and correct it. With this painting, if I get too far with one color, I have to try to recreate that color if I have to come back and fix it later. It's much more difficult to do it later than it is to do it now. The second thing is that we need to realize that our boundaries can shift without us realizing, and we need to regularly check in to make sure we're where we're supposed to be. If you do not, you're setting yourself up for failure. We must have the wisdom to see that it's the enemy's schemes to convince us that we're okay to just keep putting our paint to the wall. So here we are. After all this, you can see what it looks like from that ultimate perspective. Up till now, we've kind of just been looking at it from different viewpoints, but this is it. This is that ultimate perspective that I have to keep checking in to see how it looks overall. Because here you can see where things do or do not work. So we've been talking about the different challenges I faced with my boundary lines getting shifted and only being able to see about 2 foot square at a time. And because of those things, at this point, before I start painting the bookshelf, the actual bookshelf itself, I wanted to make sure that all of my lines were coming to the right point. This is called actual perspective. Like when you talk about a drawing and it has perspective, everything goes to one certain point. And I wanted to make sure that I was being consistent with everything. This point was determined way back in the very beginning when I laid all the books out on an actual shelf to see what layout I wanted and where my eyes were in relation to all of those books. That picture then became an outline of it all. And now, in order to make sure that this thing looks realistic in the end, I have to check in and make sure all those lines are converging back to that same point. We are seeing the importance of viewing the mural from a perspective that can see it all. I'm calling it the ultimate perspective. In our lives, we have an ultimate perspective too, but we aren't always taking the time to turn to it. Some of us never do. If you can't remember the last time you turned to the ultimate perspective, it's time to question if you have the ultimate perspective. If not, you're a perspective drawing with no one central vantage point. Without a central vantage point provided by the ultimate perspective, the mural of your life is getting jacked up. You are stuck up close to the wall, trying to figure out how to make the big picture look right just for things to get shifted as you start moving around. You're trying to draw lines that look like they go up when really they go down, and you won't figure out it was the wrong direction until the mural is finished. We access this ultimate perspective every time we turn our eyes to our Creator for guidance and direction, in any way, shape, or form. My ultimate perspective in this mural guided me to add this book, to straighten up this book, to make these 2 books one, and later to straighten up this book when it went crooked. But in life, my one true ultimate perspective guides me away from what is not his picture and towards what is, and one way he does this is through my Bible. I found this Bible at a thrift store. I don't even think I paid for it because it was Holy Spirit anointed. Or maybe just because Bibles usually don't cost anything at thrift stores. I'll provide a link to a version of this in the description below. Reading the pages of this book has kept me from doing some really stupid things, shown me what I was doing to hurt other people, which actually hurts me too. It's given me encouragement in a discouraging world, helped me to love when all I could feel was bitterness, and it's given me a perfect role model to study and aim to be like through Jesus. Checking into this on the regular is one of my ways of checking into my ultimate perspective. So much that I did include a Bible in the layout of the books. To non-believers, this is just another book on the shelf. But to my fellow believers, we know this to be the one book on the shelf that has stood the test of time, cannot be destroyed, and is the only collection of pages that explains the way, the truth, and the life in a world of lostness, lies, and spiritual and emotional death. In Joshua 1, God is speaking to Joshua as he steps into a leadership role for a massive group of people, the Israelites, after the previous leader Moses dies. The task of leading this massive group of people into the promised land, I'm sure felt like a huge, overwhelming task. But here's God's instruction to him, and let us be wise and absorb these instructions for ourselves. Only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it from the right or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. This book of the law, that's the Bible, shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.